Alright, let's crush the daily puzzle on chess.com. This one's called Attracting the King's Attention. It's black to move. Give the video pause and try it yourself if you feel like it. Cool. Attracting the King's Attention. This move, just off the bat, looks pretty solid, doesn't it? So just looking for checks. My queen can get in, and it really seems like this is a good move. The king only has one move if I go there, right? Do I have a follow-up? I mean, maybe I don't. Here, check. If the bishop were to take and my pawn takes, then I'm taking away the only square that the king would be able to go to. That seems slow, and it also seems presumptuous that the bishop would have to take, but it would almost have to take. I mean, there aren't a whole lot of squares for the king. There's only one. There's only one square for the king to go to. But this does seem to be the king's safe haven, doesn't it? How do I get to the king once it's here? I don't really feel like I can. I mean, my queen can do this or something. So here, that's really hard to get to that king. It's here, and then this is the only move I can think of, and there's a few different moves from there, this pawn push being one of them. So that doesn't look very good. And I feel like if the king just starts moving back, I'm not going to be able to do anything. So how would I attract the king? Maybe this is interesting, but still, same problem persists. I don't really have unless I can like do something crazy with just dive the knight in and just keep checking the king. It's Saturday. I'm expecting this to be hard, so I got to kind of think outside the box here. So if I go here and the bishop were to take, pawn takes, and there's a serious mating net here. But the king can even still just scoot back. I think even if I assume the bishop's taking there, the king can just run away. And I don't think I really have anything. So, how do I get my queen in here? There must be some weird sacrifice. It just seems like such a good move when you can get the queen just on the king like this. But what am I doing after this? I put the king in a box. The king is trapped here, so I might have some time to try to get another piece in, but what is that piece? Like it's can I reroute my knight? So if I go like here and then here, it seems kind of insane. Okay, maybe I'm starting to see something interesting. So if I go here, then here, and then if I like dive my knight in, then I'm disallowing the king from running away. And I'm also taking away the king, this square for the king. So there's a new mating net, and if my queen dropped back here, now this pawn push is still bad though. Here, yeah, and then the king could go here. I'm not seeing this. It's got to be some coordination with my knights and my queen, right? Here. This must be too slow. And like I want my knight to go here. Here. The pawn push is just bad. It's just that's not working at all. Can my knights just like mate this thing somehow? So this is a check. The king moves here. Can I just keep checking with this knight somehow? Not really. I'm thinking if this pawn gets out of the way, maybe something happens. Maybe something like this. The king can just move back. Then my queen can come here, and the pawn pushes, and the king's fine. I don't know. I mean, it just look like it should be this move. This move just looks strong. I don't see this one. I'm not seeing it. Is it the knight move? So the bishop takes. I don't know why the bishop had to take there, because well, now this is very interesting, and that's not even the move. Oh, but the bishop just no. Why? Wow. Why'd the bishop have to take, though? Okay, so I just have no idea what's going on in this puzzle. What? Here? What is this puzzle? I had no chance at this. I had absolutely no chance. What is even happening? I don't even understand what's happening. Take? Wow. Cool. I gotta analyze this one. I have no idea. I have no idea what happened there. I was thinking about this knight line, but I thought the bishop didn't have to take, and then even then, I obviously didn't have any of these moves. Okay, so So the knight dives in. I was thinking, what if the king goes here? King e3 is made in 1. g4. Wow. So I was completely missing this knight move, which is made in 1. If the king moves there, so that was not bright on my part. So the bishop does have to take. That's the longer of the two lines. So if the bishop takes, I was calculating if the bishop took, and then I was thinking my pawn would take and take away the square that I was worried about when my queen gets in here. But I don't want to take immediately. I want to force the king onto that square. And then the king has to move to this square. So I delay that move for a second. And now this move is kind of insane. What did I do? Sacrifice my knight? Yeah, I sacrificed my knight to move my pawn out of the way so that my queen can see the pawn taking. That's so hard. I was never getting this. I just was absolutely not getting this morning. Okay, so my knight jumps in here, checking the king. No moves. The pawn absolutely has to take. And that's important because after the pawn takes, now when my pawn takes the bishop, this pawn was in the way before, but now my queen sees the pawn, so the king can't escape. The king can't take the pawn because now my queen defends, and the king's in a box, and that's checkmate. That's an absolutely insane puzzle. I'll run through this one more time, try to be a little more fluid with it, because this is a really cool puzzle. I was looking at this move, and I thought the king was safe here, but it's not at all. After I go here, if the king were to move here, my knight jumps in, and that's mate, which is difficult to see. Knight mates are always pretty tough, but my pawn has this square. My knight has both of these, which is crazy, and the knight checks, and that's mate. So the bishop has to take here is the key. And now my queen comes in and forces the king onto this square, which didn't work initially because the king was safe here. The key is that now that this bishop is here, my pawn has the ability to move here eventually, right? So my pawn is going to be able to sneak in here, but I delay that move initially and make the king move onto this square, and I delay the move again by forcing this pawn to take. And once the pawn takes, my queen can see this square. So I check the king with the knight. Queen sees all of these squares. The pawn absolutely has to take here. The pawn takes. This pawn takes. The king's in a box. That's mate. Wild puzzle. Really cool. Honestly, really like that one. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.